Okay, tonight we're going to talk about objects that are cursed. We're going to talk about the lore, the handling, and the protection, everything involved with cursed objects. Now, we've had a few cursed objects in the past, and we're going to have more in the future, I'm sure. Anyway, I'm John M. Strobin, the presenter. My email is houstonghost@gmail.com. Our website is www.paranormalhoustoninvestigations.org. Our Facebook page is https www.facebook.com/paranormal Houston investigations/. So if you need to get a hold of us, that's how you can do it. Next thing that we're going to talk about is what is a cursed object. Now, what you're seeing here on the screen, one of the things is the Hope Diamond. What do you think about the Hope Diamond, Richard? Is it cursed? Or do
Yeah,
you
I
know
heard
anything
it
about it?
was, but I don't know.
Okay,
Yes.
well, I'll read you some stuff here on it in a minute. The
Okay.
other is a doll named Annabelle, which is in the other window there.
Famous doll.
Yeah. Objects become cursed by intentional cursing by individuals, witches, shamans, or those seeking revenge. Sometimes they're come about because of traumatic events or negative energy clinging to an object. Sometimes it's association with a tragedy, a death, or a misfortune. Folklore and legends surrounding specific items. The difference between a cursed object, the object itself, is the source, and a haunted location, energy, or entity tied to a place. Tales of the famous examples. One is the legend of the Hope Diamond. The Hope Diamond boasts a long and captivating history marked by the stunning beauty, impressive size, numerous owners, and the persistent legend of a curse. Here's a summary of its journey. Its early origins were in India in pre 1668. It is believed the Hope Diamond originated in the Kular mine in Golconda region of India. The exact date of this discovery is unknown, but the original stone was a massive blue diamond weighing 112 and 3/16 carats. That's old French carats, equivalent to approximately 1,500 modern metric carats today. Jean Baptiste Taverner, and the Taverner Blue is what it was called in 1668. The first recorded owner was Jean Baptiste Taverner, a French gem merchant. He acquired the large blue diamond, likely in the 1650s or 1660s, and brought it to Europe. This original stone became known as the Taverner Blue. In 1668, Taverner sold the Taverner Blue, along with other significant diamonds, to King Louis the 14th of France. I had to read that Roman numeral. It took me a while to translate it. The French Blue and the French Monarchy from 1668 to 1792. In 1678, Louis XIV had the Taverner Blue recut by a court jeweler, Jean Pittman, to a 67.25 carat. Some sources say 69 carats, triangular shaped gem. This recut stone became known as the blue diamond of the crown, or the French blue. It was often set in gold and worn by the king on ceremonial occasions. King Louis XV had the French blue set in an elaborate pendant for the Order of the Golden Fleece in 1749. During the French Revolution in 1792, the French crown jewels, including the French blue, were stolen from the royal storehouse. The emergence of the Hope Diamond in 1812. The deep blue diamond weighing approximately 45.52 carats surfaced in London in 1812 in the possession of a diamond merchant, Daniel Elizan. Strong evidence, including computer modeling of the lead cast of the French blue, indicates that this stone was the recut French blue. The recutting was likely done to disguise its identity after the theft. The person who recut it is unknown. Henry Hope and the naming 1839. The diamond's next documented appearance was an 1839 gem collection catalog of Henry Philip Hope, a wealthy British banker and gem collector. It is from him that the diamond takes the current name, the Hope Diamond. The details of how he acquired it are unclear, passing through owners from 1839 to 1911. After Henry Philip Hope's death in 1839, that's the year he acquired it, the diamond passed through his family, eventually reaching Lord Francis Hope. In 1901, facing financial difficulties, Lord Francis Hope obtained permission to sell the diamond. It was then sold to various dealers, including Adolph Wheel, Joseph Frankel's Sons and Company in New York, Salim Habib, and C.H. Rosenau. In 1910, the renowned French jeweler Pierre Cartier acquired the Hope Diamond. Evelyn Walsh McLean from 1911 to 1947. Cartier sold the Hope Diamond in 1911 or 1912 to the wealthy American socialite Evelyn Walsh McLean. She became its most famous private owner and often wore the stunning gem. Harry Winston and the donation of the Smithsonian. In 1949 to 1958, after Evelyn Walsh McLean's death in 1947, her jewelry collection, including the Hope Diamond, was sold to the famous New York jeweler Harry Winston in 1949. Winston displayed the Hope Diamond in a traveling exhibition for several years. On November the 10th, 1958, Harry Winston generously donated the Hope Diamond to the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C., where it has been on permanent display in the National Museum of Natural History ever since, captivating millions of visitors. The curse of the Hope Diamond. Throughout its history, the Hope Diamond has been associated with a legendary curse said to bring misfortune and even death to the owners and those who touch it. Many of the misfortunates attributed the curse can be traced back to the sensationalized stories and marketing efforts, particularly in the late 19th and 20th centuries. While some past owners did experience tragedies, researchers have often debunked direct causal links to the diamond, attributing misfortunes to other factors. Today, the Hope Diamond remains one of the most famous and valuable jewels in the world, a centerpiece for the Smithsonian's gem collection, and subject to ongoing fascination. There are some other famous examples, often shrouded in mystery and tables of misfortune. Annabelle the doll, you see her picture there, perhaps the most widely known due to the Conjuring movie franchise. The real Annabelle doll is a Raggedy Ann doll delivered to, believed to be possessed by a demonic entity. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren kept her locked in a glass case in their occult museum. Robert the doll, residing at the East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida. Robert is a life-size stuffed sailor doll said to have been cursed by a disgruntled servant. Legend claims he can move on his own, change expressions, and bring bad luck to those who disrespect him. Visitors often write apology letters to him. The Dybbuk box, a wine cabinet that gained notoriety in the early 2000s after its owner claimed it contained a malicious Jewish spirit, a Dybbuk. Subsequent owners reported experiencing nightmares. illness, and other misfortunes. It inspired the movie The Possession. The Conjured Chest, a chest that allegedly belonged to the family in the early 19th century and is said to have been responsible for the deaths of 15 family members who owned it. The Kohinoor diamond, another historically significant and large diamond with a long and turbulent history. It was passed through the hands of various rulers and is now part of the British crown jewels. Legends state that only a woman who wears it can be free from its curse, while it will bring misfortune to any man who owns it. And you see a picture of it in the purple crown. Actually, the large spindle is a gemstone, has been part of the English British crown jewels for centuries. It has been associated with battles, deaths, and misfortune throughout its history. We're talking about the Black Prince ruby, which is just to the left of the diamond there. In fact, let me turn on my laser, and this is it right here. Rudolph Valentino's ring. The silent film star purchased a jeweled ring in 1920s and reportedly fell ill shortly after. Some believe the ring was cursed and contributed to his early death. And this is Robert Valentino and his ring. The Anguished Man painting. That's this one right here. A disturbing painting of a man's face said to have been painted by the artist using his own blood before committing suicide. Owners have reported hearing whispers, seeing shadowy figures, and experiencing overwhelming dread in its presence. The Crying Boy painting, I do not have a copy of here, is a series of mass produced prints of a crying child that gained notoriety in the United Kingdom in the 1980s after reports surfaced that they were often the only objects to survive house fires unscathed. This led to the urban legend that the paintings were cursed and caused the fires. The Bassano vase. In 15th century Italian silver, that's this one here, with a note allegedly stating, "Beware, this vase brings death." According to the legend, several owners died shortly after acquiring it until it was reportedly buried in a secret location and no one knows where it is buried. The curse of Tutankhamun's tomb. While not a single object, the opening of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, notably the main artifacts were discovered afterwards, led to a popular legend of the curse that brought misfortune and death to some of those involved in the discovery. This was likely fueled by the sensationalism and the coincidences. The Batista balls, which are right here, are ancient Roman stone projectiles allegedly stolen from an archaeological site near the Israeli Syrian border. The theft reportedly experienced years of misfortune and anonymously returned them, claiming they brought nothing but trouble. Other notable examples are the Busby Stew chair, which I do not have a picture of. A murderer was said to have cursed his favorite chair before his execution in 1702, declaring that anyone who sat in it would die. According to the legend, numerous people who dared to sit in the chair in a pub where it was kept met untimely ends. The chair is now displayed and no longer set upon in the museum. The woman from the limb, or the goddess of death. A small limestone figurine dating back to thousands of years discovered in Cyprus in 1878. Legend claims that every family who has owned it has suffered the death of multiple family members and is now said to be locked away in a museum. James Dean's Porsche 550 Spider. It was nicknamed the Little Bastard. After several custom modifications, the car was involved in a fatal accident that killed James Dean in 1955. Afterwards, the car's wreckage was said to have been linked to a series of bizarre and unfortunate events leading to the belief that it was cursed. My understanding is that a lot of the parts from his car were sold off, used to other people, and each of those cars was involved in a wreck. It's important to remember that while these stories are often captivating, the existence and power of curses are a matter of belief. Many of these tales are likely have been embellished over time, and misfortunes can often be attributed to coincidence or psychological factors. However, the enduring fascination with these objects highlights our human tendency to seek explanations for the unexplained and to be intrigued by the darker side of history and legend. Direct contact with suspected cursed object carries potential risks that span the physical, emotional, and spiritual realms. It is paranormal to prioritize careful observation from a safe distance before ever considering any interaction. Here's a breakdown on the potential risks. Some legends associate cursed objects with causing physical harms, accidents, illness, or even death to those who touch them. While the mechanism is often supernatural in nature, within the lore, the fear and the psychological distress induced by the belief in the curse could manifest in physical symptoms. This is called the nocebo effect. Transfer of negative energy. It is believed that some spiritual traditions that negative energies or malevolent entities can attach themselves to objects. Direct contact might allow these entities or energies to transfer to the individual, leading to a feeling of unease, sickness, or of general downturn in well being. Knowing or believing an object is cursed can induce significant anxiety, stress, and fear. This can permeate daily life, causing unease, nightmares, and a constant sense of dread. Individuals might become paranoid, attributing any misfortune or negative event in their lives to the cursed object that they touched. This can be led to an unhealthy obsession with the object and its perceived effects. The constant fear and anxiety can lead to more significant psychological distress, potentially exacerbating existing mental health conditions or contributing to new ones. The power of suggestion and the belief can have a profound impact on mental or emotional states. In various spiritual beliefs, cursed objects are seen as conduits for negative spiritual forces, entities, or attachments. Touching such an object could create a link or open a door for these negative influences to enter one's life and energy field. Depending on the object or the origin of the curse, stemming from the wrongdoing or violation, interacting with the object might carry negative karmic consequences. If the curse is tied to a specific spirit, deity, or religious belief, touching the object could be seen as being disrespectful or an act of violation, potentially leading to negative spiritual repercussions according to that belief system. The important and careful observation before any interaction. Given these potential risks, thorough and cautious observation from a distance is crucial for several reasons. We need to observe the object's appearance, its location, and any accompanying information, stories, warnings. This can provide us with clues about the potential history and the name of the alleged curse. Pay attention to your gut feeling and intuition when you're near the object. If you experience strong negative emotions, unease, or sense of danger without physical contact, this is a strong indicator to maintain distance. Careful observation allows you to assess the potential risk involved without exposing yourself directly. You can then make a more informed decision about whether any further investigation or action is necessary and how to proceed safely, if at all. Maintaining distance during observation minimizes the risk of accidentally touching that which could trigger an alleged curse or negative effect. If handling or removal becomes necessary, observation allows time to plan safe procedures involving protective barriers and tools, minimizing direct physical contact. In conclusion, while the nature and potency of the curse are debated, the potential for physical, emotional, and spiritual harm stemming from the belief in alleged negative energies warrants extreme caution. Careful observation from a distance is the first and most crucial step in dealing with a suspected cursed object, allowing for information gathering and risk assessment without direct exposure. Going to move that over there. Seeking guidance and advice. When in doubt, reach out. One of the things you might want to do is reach out to a reputable paranormal investigator or investigative team, and I've included my picture there. You might want to reach out to an antique dealer or historian. So I have included our Danny Palmari Schaefer's picture there. She is an antique dealer. Religious leaders and our spiritual advisors for advice based on beliefs or your beliefs. And I've been picture of our chaplain, Jarrell Riggins. Safe handling. If absolutely necessary, the is the only time we would safely try to handle these objects. The rationale behind the protective measures recommended when dealing with suspected cursed objects blends elements of practical safety, psychological well being, and adherence to a belief system. While the existence and mechanism of curses is not scientifically proven, these measures aim to mitigate potential risk, both tangible and intangible. First, it would be a physical barrier using gloves or tools or containers. These measures primarily serve as a physical barrier to direct contact. This is important for several reasons. The object might be old, fragile, or contaminated with unknown substances, dust, mold, decay, that could be harmful if you touched it. Creating a physical barrier can also create a psychological distance from the object, reducing feelings of immediate connection or vulnerability to its alleged negative influence. Using tools allows manipulation and examination of the object without direct skin contact, providing a sense of control over the situation. Sealed containers aim to isolate the object and any perceived negative energy or entity associated with it, preventing it from affecting the surrounding environment or other individuals. Distance, of course, is the best way to maintain exposure, and it's the most fundamental protective measure. It directly reduces the potential of any alleged negative influence to affect you. Keeping a distance can provide a sense of safety and control, reducing anxiety and fear associated with the object. Distance allows for careful observation and planning without immediate interaction. A strong and positive mental state can act as a psychological shield against fear and the power of suggestion. Believing in your own strength and resilience can lessen the perceived impact of a potential curse. Some belief systems suggest that positive energy and thoughts can repel negative energies. Maintaining a positive mindset is seen as a way to create a personal energetic barrier. The nocebo effect is the phenomenon where negative expectations lead to negative outcomes, i.e., believing an object will make you sick will actually manifest in physical symptoms and make you sick due to psychological stress. A strong mental state can help mitigate this effect. The effectiveness of these items is deeply rooted in the individual's belief if their protective properties, the act of wearing or carrying them, can provide a sense of security and empowerment. These symbols often represent specific religions, spiritual or cultural concepts associated with protection, warding off evil, or attracting positive energy. And again, last week we talked about crystals, and a lot of the crystals can actually be worn as jewelry, which will help offset some of this. They can serve as a focal point for personal intervention intentions of safety and protection, reinforcing a positive mindset. Energy cleansing practices, meditation, grounding, smudging. Personal energy hygiene. These practices are believed to cleanse and balance one's own energy field, making it less susceptible to negative influences. Some believe that these practices strengthen the aura or personal energy field, and shield the person, providing a natural defense. A calm and grounded state can reduce anxiety and make one feel more in control, lessening the perceived threat of a cursed object. Salt circles, lines, and iron. These are based on traditional and folkloric beliefs about the protective properties against negative energies and malevolent entities in various cultures. Symbolic barriers act that are believed to repel and contain negative forces. Even if you're not literally effective, the act of creating these barriers can provide a sense of control and security, reducing fear. In essence, the rationale behind these protective measures is multifaceted: to avoid physical harm from the object itself, to manage fear, reduce anxiety, and counter the power of suggestion, to align with a spiritual or cultural belief system about protection and warding off negative influences. It's important to note that the perceived effectiveness of these measures often depends on the individual's belief system and the specific context of the suspected curse. For those who do not believe in curses, these measures might be seen as purely precautionary or psychological tools. However, for those who do, they can provide a sense of agency and control when dealing with potential unsettling objects. It is absolutely crucial to understand that when dealing with suspected cursed objects, that there are no guaranteed safe methods for handling or neutralizing or disposing of them. The very nature of a curse often implies forces or energies that operate outside the realm of conventional understanding and scientific control. Therefore, any actions taken should be approached with the utmost respect for the object, its history, real or perceived, and the benefits of the beliefs surrounding it. Even if you are skeptical of curses, treating the object with respect can help avoid unintended negative psychological or emotional consequences for yourself and others. Furthermore, intention is paramount. Just like when you're protecting yourself with crystals or the smudgings and stuff, intention is paramount with everything. If you choose to undertake any form of handling or attempting to neutralize, your intention should be clear, focused, and respectful. Acting out of fear, anger, or desire to prove the curse wrong could potentially exacerbate the situation or lead to unintended outcomes, according to some belief systems. While the urge to simply destroy a perceived cursed object might seem logical, it carries significant potential dangers. If the curse is believed to be tied to a spirit entity or a lingering energy of a traumatic event, destruction could be seen as disrespectful or aggressive act, potentially angering the source and leading to negative repercussions that could be even more severe and widespread. Some theories suggest that a cursed object acts as a container for negative energy. Destroying it might release this energy into the surrounding environment or attach it to the person performing the destruction. The act of destruction itself could trigger unforeseen consequences, especially if the object has historical or sentimental value to others, or if the curse is tied to the object's physical integrity. Without fully understanding the nature of or the origin of the alleged curse, destruction is a blunt and potentially misguided approach. It might not address the root cause and could even make things worse. Destroying historical or culturally significant artifacts, even if believed to be cursed, raises ethical concerns such as objects hold historical value and should be considered. Focus on the safety, containing and isolating the object to minimize potential interaction. If you feel compelled to take action beyond containment, Seek guidance from individuals experienced in dealing with such matters according to their respective beliefs, spiritual advisors, religious leaders, experienced paranormal investigators. If possible, research the object's history and any associated legends to gain a better understanding of the situation. If the object is believed to have been taken from somewhere, consider the possibility that a respectful and anonymous return would be appropriate. In conclusion, approach suspected cursed objects with caution, respect, and clear intention. Understand that there is no guarantee for safety, and the act of destruction carries a significant potential risk. Prioritize containment and seek guidance before considering any drastic measures. Focusing on the power of belief and intention for personal protection is an active and ongoing process that involves cultivating a strong inner state and directing your mental energy. Here's a breakdown of how to consciously harness these forces. What do you fundamentally believe about your ability to be safe and protected? Recognize any limiting beliefs or fears that might undermine your sense of security. If you identify negative beliefs, e.g., bad things always happen to me, I'm vulnerable, actively challenge them with evidence to the contrary. Focus on times you were safe, resilient, and protected. Regularly repeat positive affirmations about your safety and strength. Examples would be I am safe and protected. I am strong and capable of handling any situation. I'm surrounded by positive energy and protection. I trust my intuition to guide me to safety. Regularly visualize yourself being safe, secure, and navigating challenges successfully. Engage all your senses in this visualization, making it vivid and as real as possible. Limit exposure to negative news, fear mongering, or pessimistic individuals who might reinforce feelings of vulnerability. Seek out positive and empowering influences. Reflect on times in your life when you felt particularly safe and secure. Re experience those feelings to reinforce your belief in your ability to be protected. Learning practical self defense skills or safety strategies can boost your confidence and strengthen your belief in your ability to handle potential threats. Before entering a situation or interacting with something you perceive as potentially negative, consciously set the intention to be safe and protected. State your intention clearly in your mind and even out loud. Throughout the day, consciously direct your thoughts and energy toward feeling of safety and security. Gently redirect your focus whenever your mind wanders to fear or worry. Imagine a shield of the protective energy surrounding you. This would be a color, a light, or a feeling of warmth and strength. Visualize this shield deflecting any negativity. If you are taking a protective measure like wearing an amulet, consciously focus on the intention and its purpose and your belief in its effectiveness. Being present in the moment allows you to be more aware of your situation and surroundings and your own intuition, which can guide you towards safety. Mindfulness also helps you manage fear and anxiety, allowing your intentions for safety to be clearer. Ensure your behaviors and choices reflect your intention for safety. This might involve avoiding risky situations, trusting your gut feeling, or taking practical safety precautions. Fear and doubt can weaken the power of your intention. Consciously work on releasing these negative emotions through techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or positive self talk. The most powerful personal protection comes from the synergy of strong belief and focused intention. When you genuinely believe in your ability to be safe and you consciously direct your mental energy towards that outcome, you create a powerful internal force that can influence your perception, your actions, and potentially even the energetic environment around you, according to some belief systems. While belief and intention are powerful, they should complement and not replace common sense precautions and self defense strategies. Cultivating strong beliefs and focused intentions takes time and consistent effort. Your gut feelings can often provide valuable guidance regarding safety. Pay attention to them and honor them. By actively cultivating strong beliefs in your safety and consistently focusing your intention on protection, you can empower yourself and navigate the world with greater confidence and a stronger sense of inner security. Emphasize the power of belief and intention as fundamental aspects of personal protection. When dealing with the concept of cursed objects or any perceived negative influence, while physical barriers and cleansing rituals can play a role, the internal landscape of belief and intention often forms the strongest and most crucial line of defense. Here, a closer look at any belief or intention are so potent. What we believe profoundly influences how we perceive and interpret the world around us. If you firmly believe in your ability to protect yourself, you are more likely to interpret ambiguous situations as non threatening and less likely to succumb to fear or anxiety. Just as negative beliefs can manifest negative outcomes, the nocebo effect, strong positive beliefs in your protection can foster resilient and well being, potentially mitigating any perceived negative effects. Belief in your own strength and protective measure can tap into inner resources for courage, determination, and mental fortitude, empowering you to face perceived threats with greater confidence. A strong belief in your protection acts as a psychological shield, deflecting fear and doubt that could otherwise weaken your sense of security and make you feel more vulnerable. In many spiritual and philosophical traditions, belief is seen as a powerful force that can shape energy and reality. Believing in your protection measures can, accordingly to those beliefs, create a tangible energetic barrier. Intention is the focused direction of your will and energy. When you consciously intend to protect yourself, you are actively directing your mental and emotional resources towards that goal. Your intention imbues any protective measures you take, wearing an amulet, performing a cleansing ritual with greater power and focus. Without clear intention, these actions can be mere empty gestures. A strong intention to protect yourself establishes clear energetic and psychological boundaries, signaling to yourself and according to some beliefs to any external forces that you are not open to negative influence. The power of intention is often linked to the conception or concept of manifestation. By clearly intending to be and protected, you are aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions towards that outcome. Actively setting the intention to protect yourself empowers you and shifts you from a passive victim into an active agent in your own well being. Belief provides the foundation of certainty and trust in your ability to protect. Intention is the active force that directs that belief and empowers you to your own protective actions. If you truly believe that a certain amulet offers protection, your intentions to use it effectively will be stronger. When you actually engage in protective practices with clear intention and experience a sense of security, your own belief in their efficiency is strengthened. In conclusion, when dealing with suspected cursed objects, any perceived negative influence, Cultivate a strong and unwavering belief in your ability to protect yourself. Consciously set clear and focused intentions for your safety and well being. While physical precautions are wise, remember that the most potent form of protection often originates from within, from the power of your own mind, your convictions, and your directed will. It's fascinating. Question is why museums that house objects with reputations for being cursed or haunted don't seem to be plagued by constant negative events. There are several possible explanations encouraging the critical and multifaceted perspective. One is it's a controlled environment. Museums have rigorous protocols for handling objects. Curators and staff often wear gloves and use tools, minimizing the direct skin contact and a key element in curse narratives. Temperatures, humidity, and lighting are carefully controlled, which might prevent the deterioration or destabilization of an object, potentially mitigating any negative energies associated with its decay, if you subscribe to that idea. Trained professionals are responsible for the care and display of these objects. Their scientific and historical approach might create a less emotionally charged environment compared to private ownership. Most cursed objects are displayed behind glass or in enclosed spaces, creating a physical barrier that prevents direct interaction by the public. This aligns with the advice given for handling such objects. Museums might unknowingly or unintentionally incorporate symbolic elements in the display. Specific materials, in case placement within the room, could be interpreted as protective. The museum environment frames these objects as historical or cultural artifacts rather than inherently dangerous items. This shift in perception by staff and visitors might dilute the power of suggestion and belief in the curse. Visitors are encouraged to engage with objects intellectually, learning about their history and context rather than emotionally focusing on the curse narrative. Museum staff are often trained in scientific methodology and critical thinking. If they don't personally believe in curses, their lack of fear and expectation might create an environment where negative manifestations are less likely to occur. Again, the nocebo effect in reverse. With thousands of visitors passing through, any concentrated negative energy associated with an object might become diluted or dispersed over time and among many individuals. If curses are tied to specific events or emotions, that energy might dissipate or weaken over time, especially if the object is no longer directly associated with those events in the public consciousness. We might only hear about the museums that aren't experiencing negative effects. If a museum did encounter significant problems, it might not be widely publicized to avoid damaging its reputation. Minor negative events like lights flickering, a feeling of unease, might occur in a museum, but they're likely attributed to mundane causes like electrical issues, personal mood, rather than a cursed object. Perhaps the curse requires a specific type of interaction, ownership, or disrespect that doesn't typically occur within a museum setting. If the curse was intended for a specific individual or lineage, it might not affect the public institution. It's crucial to approach this topic with critical thinking. Many stories about cursed objects come from folklore, sensationalized media, or personal anecdotes. Evaluate the reality or reliability of these sources. Before attributing events to a curse, consider mundane explanations like coincidence, psychological suggestion, or natural phenomena. The nocebo and placebo effects demonstrate how our beliefs can influence our experiences. The belief in a curse can be a powerful factor in reported negative events. Just because negative events happen to someone who owned a particular object doesn't mean that object caused those events. While remaining open to the possibility of the unexpected, maintain a healthy skepticism and demand evidence before accepting extraordinary claims. Ultimately, the lack of widespread knowledge, effectiveness in museums housing alleged cursed objects likely stems from a combination of controlled environments, shift in perception, the potential dilution of energy over time, the crucial mindset of many involved. It serves as a reminder to consider multiple perspectives and to approach such claims with a blend of curiosity and a healthy skepticism. Handle with respect and caution. Final thoughts are navigating the realm of cursed objects. Cursed objects are a complex topic, blending folklore, belief, and history. Exercise extreme caution when encountering suspected items. Respect the potential power and negative energy associated with them. There is no guarantee safe way to handle or dispose of them. Personal protection and creating barriers involve both mental and physical aspects. Do we have any questions? Are you still with me, Richard? Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. What did you think?
Another topic. It reminded me of something that I did a few years ago. Do you know Zach Bagans, right? And
Yes.
and he has a museum of haunted objects.
Yes.
And I visited his museum 4 or 5 years ago, and he had a display that was a doll that was supposedly cursed. And the display was set up to where everybody in your group goes through the room where this doll is in one at a time. And you're supposed to say something uh, specific and not be rude to the doll. Otherwise, something bad would happen.
Oh,
That's what
wow.
they told us. When I went through, I decided I'm going to test this doll. And so I decided not to be kind to the doll, and I said something, I said something I wasn't supposed to say.
Yeah.
Nothing happened, but when I drove home and I was about 3 miles from my house, I went over this bridge and I saw two lightning bolts land, look like it was in the area where my house was.
Mm.
And when I finally got there, one of my trees had been cut in half. And I asked my wife, what happened? And she said, I don't know. I haven't seen that. And she saw it when I saw it.
Yeah.
She had been home the whole time. I, I thought maybe those lightning bolts happened that morning, right when I saw it. And the tree was cut in half. Maybe because of this doll that I was being rude to. And I never really got a good feeling about that doll.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
It was an
Interesting.
interesting.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Richard.
Mhm.
Okay. I guess you don't have any other questions then.
No.
Okay. I want to thank the audience for your attention or anybody that watches this video. Very thankful for your support and for your encouragement. If you put a like on the video, if you like it, we'd appreciate it. Also, if you subscribe to our channel, We're looking to try to provide you with better content, and if you more subscriptions, it leads us to be able to get monetized and to have other benefits. So that will help us get money coming in a little to support ourselves and to pay for some of the upgrades and give us access to some programs and different things. We're trying to get out a newsletter, and we're needing access to some software to do that. And we're trying to do some other things. There are a number of things I'm trying to do, but all require additional funding. So if you could see your way to at least subscribe to some of our videos, and maybe make some donations to the group. We are a 501c3, and your donations are tax deductible. And we would certainly appreciate it, and it would certainly make us better. And after all, we're providing this content for you. So, with that said, I would like to say good night to everybody. Y'all take care, and we'll see you Wednesday. Good night.